Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Winner Circle of April the 9th of 2020. And we have a very exciting topic for all of us today, which is improve your online presence during COVID-19. And I will introduce our speakers in a moment. But this is a very interesting topic nowadays, mostly because, well, this is the time to improve our online presence, right? Since we're not able to go outside and show properties and all of that, we're doing a lot of work online. And I want to share a quote that I just heard from my counterpart in Israel. He's the owner of Remax Israel. His name is Bernard Raskin, and he says, in Remax Israel, we're not in lockdown. We just changed the way we do business. So I really like that. Okay, with that quick introduction, I want you to meet my two guest speakers for today. Young people that have a lot of energy, extremely focused and hardworking. There is Dustin Rennie, who is co-owner of Remax Bahamas, and Will Mitchell, who's a partner of Dustin in Bahamas, plus he owns Remax Belize. So Dustin and Will, welcome. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, Ricardo. Thank you so much for having us today.
Of course. What's that t-shirt that you got? Wake up, kick ass.
Remax.
I love that. That's awesome.
Hardcore.
Wake up, kick ass, repeat. Nice. Okay, guys, what do you have in mind for today? What are you gonna share with us?
Okay, so basically we put together a presentation on how you guys can essentially maximize this time. You know, most people in the world are quarantined right now. There's a lot of changes going on, but Dustin and I kind of see a lot of opportunity in this. So we've designed a presentation on how to leverage online marketing, how to leverage your online presence to really capitalize on this situation.
Okay, you can share your screen at any moment.
Perfect. 1 second. Should we shut mine down here?
Okay, we can see your screen now.
Perfect.
And guys, before you start, I'm going to mute everybody and then you're going to have to unmute yourself, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, I just muted everyone, so Dustin and Will, unmute yourselves. There you go.
Okay, can you guys hear us now?
Yes, we can see and hear the PowerPoint and see your video too.
Perfect.
Little intro beyond what Ricardo just gave for Dustin here. For the past, I guess, several years before he moved down to Bahamas and Belize full time, he was the head of marketing and communications for a publicly traded company. It was a #1 performing company on the Toronto Stock Exchange for several years. So Dustin's experience is very strong in marketing, especially online marketing. And a lot of the stuff he's going to share today is things he learned in that journey before he came to Remax and what he's learned since he came to Remax.
Yeah, I've also been very blessed. I've got to work very closely with Will for a number of years down in Belize, working closely with him for about 5 years. Very knowledgeable guy. He's done a lot of things to position himself as the market expert. And as you can see in the bio, he's outside of being the regional owner for Remax in Belize and the Bahamas. He's also the author of The Investor's Guide to Belize Real Estate.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Oh, just 1 second, guys. Sorry. So one thing we kind of wanted to do is, we wanted to touch on like why we were asked to speak today.
Just some of the stuff we've done in terms of online marketing as a team. We built online followings of hundreds of thousands of people. We have mailing lists of over 45,000 people, all interested, targeted leads. We created the largest Belize Instagram following. 90% of our business is generated through online marketing. So this is some of our credentials just to explain to you guys what we bring to the table in terms of this kind of sector of this business.
Yeah, we've also been very successful in doing a lot of stuff sight unseen, working with people that aren't necessarily in Belize or Bahamas, but being able to communicate with them directly.
Okay, so the presentation topics for you guys today are improve your online presence during a quarantine using social media, how we've built, brands without a budget, or in many, without a large budget, or in many cases, no budget at all, and tools and techniques you guys can use to grow your business.
This presentation is designed to provide you guys with tangible tools and applications to build successful marketing campaigns. We understand that everybody's a little strapped and a little stressed right now, so we want to give you guys tools that you can utilize for your own offices and yourself as realtors.
Okay, so when we're looking to generate leads online and generate sales in general, at the end of the day, all of your businesses revolve around getting sales. So it all starts with a marketing process, and we built a system that starts by establishing and positioning yourself as an expert. Once you've done that, people, you have credibility. People will listen to you. Until you've done that, you really don't have the position you want to get a sale. The next thing would be to use relevant content, and we're going to talk about the different social media platforms you guys can use to push that content to the world, and how best to use each one. Critical point is to capture people's information, create touch points. Dustin is, a master of this sector of the pipeline here, and then nurture the relationship to generate sales. At the end of the day, you guys are building relationships with people that are going to be long-term. They're going to be in your markets, in your communities, and you want to make sure you're taking very good care of your clients.
One of our mentors that we've had is Bob Dillon with Main Street Equity. He's built one of the most successful real estate companies in Canada, has over 15,000 apartment units. He always told us business is for the bold. So our recommendation is during these times, be bold, be different, and take risks. Right now you have nothing to really lose. So give it a shot, give it a try something new. As we've kind of were talking about yesterday, any realtor in the world can post pics of a property online. Do something that's a little different that differentiates yourself.
Just to clarify, we're not saying don't, post pictures of properties online. That's obviously a huge part of the business, but there's so many other things you can do with regards to online marketing to, put content out there in other areas. Like most people in this region are in very beautiful areas with tourism and a lot of other stuff to offer. And you can put content out around, culinary stuff, the culture, all of these things are things that people want to see. And that's just more eyeballs being driven to you. So what we're really trying to say is think outside of the box. Don't just think because you're posting your listings online that you're doing enough there. How can you do more is the real question. So when it comes to positioning yourself as an expert, here's some of the steps that we've taken to position ourselves in Belize. One of the first things we did was write the book on Belize real estate, The Investor's Guide to Belize Real Estate. We published through Amazon. The whole process was very easy. Now, when we have a potential client we're working with, the first thing we do is send them a copy of this book. And right away, when someone sees you wrote the book on something, it just shifts the way they're talking to you. So everyone has a lot of free time right now. It doesn't have to be that you're writing a book. It might just be that you're writing blog posts, but these little steps you can take will inch you forward to becoming in that expert position. From that, we kind of leveraged that out and we reached out to different podcasts, different radio shows, and a lot of people were very responsive. All of these different shows are looking for content as well.
They're looking for speakers. It's basically like you go in, it acts as an interview. It just adds more credibility. When somebody looks Will up, they're able to see that he's shown on all these different podcasts. It just creates more links, more places that he can be found, he can be seen.
Yeah, so we kind of use this and we send these links out to people as well, because in the show, we're educating people on our markets. Now, the other benefit that we didn't even touch on yet from this is that there's going to be people that listen to these. They all have followings, and they're going to reach out to you and want to do something in your market if your presentation is sound.
Another thing we did that was very successful is we started realizing that a lot of people they're inquiring, they're curious. We're all in markets where people want to invest in, they want to live in, but they just don't know where to start. So instead of waiting for them to come to us, we took the initiative and went to them. We looked and found out where people were buying from, and we would go to those cities and do presentations, live presentations, and create webinars that educated people on the market. It's a completely different lead funnel, a completely different experience. And the one thing we noticed, it created a lot of long-term sales, people that pop up in the pipeline month, year, 2 years down the road.
Yeah, and just to touch on this, because obviously everyone's quarantined right now, you're not going to be hopping on planes, we get that, but online presentations, online webinars like this, they work very well. And also something that might not even be on your radar would be to maybe start your own podcast and start bringing on different guest speakers. You know, look at this network alone. I don't know how many people we have in this meeting right now, but this is a massive network that we all have so many connections in here, and you can really build your platform out through all of these connections we have.
I think one thing we kind of want to touch on is the platforms we use. We try to be active on as many channels as possible, whether it be channels we've created ourselves or all these social media channels, creating different types of content.
Yeah, what we're going to do now, guys, is break down how each one of these things can play into your business and how we specifically use each one, because each different social media, obviously they're not the same. In some, content lives for an hour. In others, content will stay there for years. Like we have one video on our YouTube channel that last week got 400 views. It's a video of DiCaprio's private island in Belize here. And that thing just consistently brings in view traffic. So
64,000 views as right now.
So it depends on what platform. Like Facebook, you make a post now, there's so many people flooding it, it's going to go away right away unless you boost that post. But YouTube, you make a video that's relevant, it could live there for years. So definitely start using YouTube if you're not.
First thing we kind of want to touch on is everybody is very aware and familiar with Facebook. What they're not exactly familiar with is how the platform's changed. Instead of it being the go-to social media hub, it's become kind of like a billboard. As you see when you go on there, it's a lot of news information, a lot of posts. Think about that. Think about how people are engaging with Facebook. Instagram is for pictures and stuff. Facebook is where you find information, you find news, you find content. So we've segued that into multiple different channels. Will has one for himself personally, but we also have one for Remax Belize, and both has different types of content that we know is geared to the people that are looking at that channel. Another big thing with Facebook, especially now in these quarantine times, is it's very important to look at ways to market to people that aren't looking for you. You know, when somebody's on an MLS platform, they're looking for a listing, they're looking for you. Right now, people might not know that they're looking for real estate in a Caribbean destination. Facebook is a great tool to reach out to those people. It's very, very targeted to certain demographics. You can choose who to speak to and when to speak to them, whether it be age, interests, location. So we've used this as a very, very effective tool during these times to be able to not only reach out, but to continue to communicate to those people. Another thing we do is we try to push messages and get just the communication starting between those people so we have a firm understanding.
At the end of the day, all of this is about connecting with people to generate new business. And there's so many ways you can do this outside of, you know, real estate. All of you guys have different things you do in your communities. You have different hobbies, you have different, you know, pastimes, all of these different things you do. You can have Facebook pages around all of these as well, where you're building followings, and you might be connecting with people on a different level, but at the end of the day, you're building new relationships that could potentially lead to new sales, new referrals, and growth in your business.
So just kind of some examples. One thing that we try to always do is create content that, you know, like we have something on how foreigners can purchase property here. We have things on like what Belize is doing on environmental policy, tips on building affordable housing, just kind of different types of content. At the end of the day, we want to create the most relevant and informative content.
Well, even, you know, down to stuff about what are our 3 favorite restaurants, or what are the 3 best places to get a quick bite on the islands. Just, it doesn't matter. It can be anything. Just try to think outside the box right now, because we have all this time to do all this great content, and everybody is a captive audience. Literally all of the US and Canada right now, and Europe, all over the whole world, really, they're trapped in their apartments. People are going stir crazy. They're walking, you know, pacing in their houses looking for something to do. And people are more receptive than ever right now. Everyone is taking our calls. everyone is answering our messages. So right now is a prime time for you guys to capitalize on the most captive audience we've seen in decades.
People are reading.
So Instagram, it's, you know, another huge outlet for us. On Instagram, we try to keep our content more towards just, you know, beautiful stuff, tourist stuff. We don't get as much traction from a just direct real estate perspective on Instagram. One of the things we did in response to that is create Belize Photos, which is basically, it's just nice photos of Belize. We showcase different, you know, beaches and stuff like that. And this has grown from 0 to now about 40,000 followers. It's one of the biggest Belize accounts on Instagram. And although our targeting wasn't designed to generate real estate leads, in fact, at the beginning, the concept was really, let's just share Belize with the world. Now it's turned into something where we get 20 messages a day on Belize Photos. People reach out to us. They say, hey, where should I go in Belize? What should I do in Belize? You know, what would you recommend if I'm going for dinner tonight? I'm in San Ignacio. I'm in San Pedro. Where should I go? So it's turned into something that wasn't designed for that. And then when you help someone, you provide value to people, you nurture and build a relationship. And back to our system, you capture their contact info, that will generate more sales for you. All of these things, although it doesn't seem direct that you're, you know, going after someone who's looking for a specific listing you have, at the end of the day, these are going to kick leads out, they're going to kick prospects out, and it's going to add a ton of value for you guys.
I think that the other thing we've done is we've created different channels. There's the personal channel, but at the same time, there's Belize Photos. We also have a tourism one. Kind of back to the advertising. We're in a very, very unique position in the Caribbean and Central America. We can fall into the category of tourism and lifestyle, but we can also fall into real estate. So you have a much broader audience than, you know, the standard realtor.
So why is YouTube important? And we kind of touched on this before, but at the end of the day, content on YouTube lives basically forever. You make a video, it could be in the recommended videos for people for years. I'm sure just what everyone in this meeting has fallen into a YouTube hole where you're clicking one video and you're going to the next video, and then, you know, you're watching some completely random thing than the first thing you clicked. And that's because YouTube, their algorithm promotes content because they want to keep viewers on YouTube. So if you're someone who's pushing content to YouTube, then YouTube will reward you. As long as it's good and relevant content, they'll reward you 100%. So it's very, very important that you guys, it doesn't have to be these perfectly clean videos. Obviously you should strive to that, but just take the step to make any video. Put your webcam on, record something, say, this is such and such in whatever country you're in, and share a little story or anything and get the ball rolling on your YouTube channel, because I promise you, it will have massive dividends as you go on.
Here's just some ideas for YouTube. You know, like one thing that's worked really well for us is educational webinars. We create just a quick PowerPoint presentation and record a video over it. Interview local experts. Show some of the things that are the top tourist destinations and attractions in your area. Tips and recommendations. Maybe ones on fitness, food, all across the country. A day in the life, you know, like nothing is more effective than somebody seeing what you're doing on a day-to-day. Sell the dream, sell the beach, sell the idea of being there. Kind of with the webinars, market overviews. You guys have listings, just post a video of the listings, text that to people. That's one of our most effective tools. We just message these people videos of a particular listing.
For sure. I mean, and again, one thing I want to reiterate, it doesn't have to be clean content, it doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously that's better, but there's so often you'll see channels and people that are making YouTube content where they post once a week or once every 3 days, versus someone who posts a really beautiful video every, you know, month or 3 months. And the person who's posting consistently is winning. At the end of the day, like Dustin said, content is king. So TikTok, guys, people have been, you know, it's been in all the buzz conversations. You see it in the news. Right now, TikTok has taken over as the #1 app in the world. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. This has become, you know, something that so many people told us, you'll never generate a lead from TikTok. And we just use it to have fun because it's more of a fun platform. But the other day we had someone reach out to us. They said, hey, I'm interested in Belize. I saw you guys on TikTok. We were pretty surprised, but that's actually the 3rd time that's happened now. So basically, I guess you can speak a little bit
Yeah.
about what TikTok is.
Like the one thing that's really interesting with TikTok, it's all algorithm based. So like you're able to create viral content, which is kind of the big advantage. So it's kind of just start getting used to it. It's not going anywhere. So I think it's a useful tool. And you know, right now you have the opportunity to be the first mover advantage on it.
Yeah, first mover advantage. That's the biggest point here. This is going to continue to be a trend, and something that's really important to note. When Facebook first started, it was all young people on Facebook. And
Same
then
with Instagram.
slowly it shifted and the audience built up, and now Facebook is actually an older social media platform. Then Instagram came in, all the young people moved over to Instagram. Now older people are starting to move over to Instagram. What's going to happen next? People are going to move to TikTok. The younger people are using it, but literally as we're going through this quarantine, the shift is happening. People are moving to TikTok. At least open it up, take a look at it, take some videos of some of your listings or whatever the case may be, but definitely take a look into this because more people are going to be seeing your stuff every day if you do it.
Especially right now in quarantine, it's the #1 used app. People are scrolling through it just because it is algorithm based with viral content. People are just scrolling. Just start creating something like a quick video showing the day in the life of quarantine in a beautiful paradise destination.
One more point on that. It's like when you look at Facebook, so many people now, I'm sure a lot of the people in this group are using Facebook ads. If you're not, you should be using Facebook ads. They're very cheap. They're very affordable, especially right now. But the reason that so many people are shifting away from Facebook and Instagram is because of the ads. Basically, they build a platform up with all the organic content that your friends share, and you love seeing that, but you don't love seeing ads. Most people don't, and people will shift to the next thing. TikTok has no ads right now, so that means all of your content that you post is being delivered to the maximum amount of people. So it's very important to try to take advantage of that early adapter advantage.
Another thing that we do, because so many people that we've seen and we've worked with just have one website and that's it. One thing that we've learned that's very effective, we have dozens of websites. We have maybe even 30, 40 different websites. Some of them show an individual home, an individual development. Some are meant for education, other are meant for sales. One thing we've learned is the more stuff we create online, the more effective our advertising is. It's more targeted. We're able to send somebody to a unique page. Again, this might not be for everybody, but it's something that we create these landing pages, these lead funnels, and we're able to make it very, very targeted.
And give them some examples of how they can do it. Like not everyone's a web developer. What are some tools? And Dustin will put these in the chat after.
For sure. Like there's all these different tools, like even through Mac Center. You know, Mac Center, you're able to create these little quick landing pages. There's another great tool called Fiverr. You can find developers from around the world super cheap. They can throw something together.
Everything they can do.
You can
everything you
content.
Do on Fiverr,
like Fiverr, you can get a graphic designer for $5, $10, $15 that can go and design something for you.
The concept around this site, guys, is everything started as $5. You can go on, you can find a graphic designer, you can find a web developer, you can find someone that will, translate to another language. If you only speak English, you need something translated to Spanish. You can find a guy that will do a radio intro for you for an ad. It's,
even edit your videos.
Edit your videos,
YouTube.
Everything. We're going to put this in the chat because you guys are going to want to look at this website. It'll help you do all the stuff we're talking about. There'll be people in there, and it's extremely affordable. What's another one like Fiverr?
There's Upwork, there's TopTall, there's all these tools that allow you to find amazing outsourcers and amazing tools. We're even talking. I'll kind of go to the next. One thing keep talking about. Content is king. We have another slide coming up about that. You can find guys that write your content for you. It costs you $4 or $5 to have a professional content writer write you a 500 to 1,000 word little blurb. You throw that on your blog. We understand that everybody's busy, but this is a tool that lets you kind of maximize your time and be able to generate the content you need while still being able to focus on the work that makes you money.
Even though most of you have time right now.
Another thing that we do a lot of is email marketing. We are very, very strict, and every lead that comes in, we're lucky that we have the systems that does it automatically, but it's very important that when a lead comes in that they're entered into your system. Two tools that work for us. There's a lot of email marketing tools. We use Drip and MailChimp. Drip is when somebody comes in, they're not very aware of Belize. They go into this campaign, and we have 27 different emails that educates them on the market. So that once again repositions us as the market experts. MailChimp we use as we can always contact people. Whenever we have a new listing, new property, new idea, we blast out to MailChimp, which is where we have our network of over 45,000 people in our system.
Just to keep it simple, Drip, if you guys have an email list of even 100 people, this will allow you to send emails out automated once a day. You know, you can pick the times, you pre-pick the emails, and it'll do that for you automatically. So it's an amazing tool. All of these we can put in the chat after too. Dustin can put some more stuff we use as well.
As we keep saying, content is king. Right now, everybody has time. It is your job to create the content. I think we always tell this to people. Like even when I was working for doing marketing communications, I would always tell the guys, it's your job to create the content. It's your audience job to decide if it's good. You just make it and just put it out there. Because at the end of the day, how you're going to rule online marketing is you have more content than anybody else. Content is anything from videos on your YouTube channel to blogs. Like blogs are very important. We have hundreds and hundreds of blogs online, not just on our websites, but we get other sites to write about our markets and what we're doing. Just constantly create content, anything you can think of. Be posting different pictures, be creating new emails. Right now is also a great time if you work with any local press or media. Talk to them, get an article, get something out there. Just constantly be creating new things and try to get creative with it. You know, just keep creating more.
Yeah, to that point, the topic of this is how to really leverage your time in this, you know, quarantine situation. Right now, all of these news outlets, all of these blogs, all of these, you know, podcasts, they're content starved because so many people have kind of stopped doing anything and aren't really thinking that this is a possibility, when the reality is the opportunity is bigger than ever right now. Bigger than ever.
Another thing that we've done in both of our markets is when, you know, there is a disaster, there is something like the current coronavirus pandemic, we try to find ways that we can help out the community. We understand that, you know, it sometimes can be expensive, but we always try to find ways that we can outreach. GoFundMe is an amazing tool. We're able to leverage our social media and our mailing list, and we're able to create these initiatives that help our communities. This is not only great PR, but it's also you know, a great way to really look like leaders in your region.
To be leaders in your region. You know, when something like this happens, how are you responding to it? Are you gonna stay home and say, oh, the world is ending? Or are you gonna get up and take action, help people, build your business? The reality is, and most people will say this all the time, buy low, sell high. But mentally, you have to put yourself in a state, even though it feels like you shouldn't be doing it, to do it right now, because that's when the best opportunities are happening, and also people need it most. So take actions in your community and help out. One of the things we're doing right now is donating rice and beans to the people who need it most in Belize. A lot of our markets are ran on tourism, and when that's not here, there's a big gap. So anything helps, guys, whatever you can do, and, you know, take initiative and be a leader in your community.
I think the other thing that's great is, you know, with all these tools, you're able to have global reach. You're able to kind of look a little different. You know, like when we post it, people engage, people love to see it. They love to see that we're taking the initiative instead of kind of just sitting back. So it's something that, you know, it's worked for us, and, you know, your community will appreciate it, but your business will also thrive because of it. Yeah.
Basically, like we talked about our system, guys, we start by establishing ourselves. We want to have as many touch points as possible to nurture a relationship and make great content and generate a sale. At the end, you want to have a call to action. It's any basic sales funnel, and that's, you know, at the end of the day, what you guys need to be doing. But all of this stuff we talked about in this, we don't want to build it up to be overwhelming. Just take any little baby step, any little goal to get yourself started, like making one YouTube video. You know, make a couple of blog posts while you're in quarantine. It doesn't have to be this whole big thing, but take action and start.
This is kind of the things that we kind of put together, just marketing during quarantine. As we kind of said at the beginning, this is an opportunity to try new things. You have the time, test different ideas. You know, everybody's different. You could get creative. You could strike gold. If it doesn't work, you know, you can always just try again. Work on a lot of the things you've been putting off. If your website's dated, maybe start looking at ways to get a new website. You know, start looking at different developers, see what you can find the most cost-effective, best way to do it. You know, maybe as Will did, start writing a book, start getting the ideas, you know, create a TikTok, create an Instagram, make your first YouTube video. One thing that we've noticed is people are at home. They have the time, right? It's the best time to talk to them, whether they're an old client, new client. Everybody wants to talk and they're very receptive. And the other thing we've noticed is people are online right now, whether they're on their computers, their phones, they don't have a lot to do. So there is an opportunity there. You know, kind of to try new things, create new content. Just start writing for the sake of it. You know, nobody knows your market better than you. Talk about different opportunities. Talk about why you're there, why you continue to be there. Anything helps.
Yeah, just one thing, and this might be the most important thing we put out in this presentation, and that's to look for new markets and new opportunities. Just because the US and Canada, if those are big, you know, pools of buyers for you guys and they're freezing up right now, you don't have to stop there. There might be other areas of the world that are opening up where more people are looking to divest money into where you guys live or where you guys do business. Also, maybe shift the target client you have. Just because the vacation traveler or vacation buyer or, you know, baby boomer retiree might not be buying a property in your guys' market does not mean that real estate investors aren't looking for good deals. Maybe you need to shift your approach, shift your marketing, and create an opportunity where it's not you know, make it something that is incentivized and enticing for real estate investors. Because right now, they're looking for good deals all over the world. Savvy investors are looking for good deals.
That's a very good point. Another thing is is help your community any way you can. Right now is also a great time to reach out to past clients. Maybe have a referral program. Just get creative with it. But yeah, it's kind of at the end of it. You know, most important thing is you want to be safe. So, you know, I want everybody out there, stay positive.
Stay positive.
Everybody
feel your energy. And do we have anything else? And that's it, guys. Stay positive. Feel your energy. If anyone has any questions, Dustin, are happy to answer them. We'll post some of the tools in the chat. I think there's a chat box. How do we get to that, Dusty?
Hey guys, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You lifted me up. Now I have a question. I have a question that I would like to ask you, and at the same time, and you have many questions in the chat box that people have asked.
Okay,
Please check them out. Now, I will start with my question while you do that. The question is, well, there are two extremes. They're like a pendulum, right? Okay, so I see that you're very business focused. So you make good use of social media, but I see people wasting time in social media. What's the difference and what do you do? Because, yeah, how do you figure that out?
Great question. I mean, when you're going on social media, just to scroll and look at news, it's different than if you're, what we like to do is try to be putting at least one piece of content out every day. That's kind of a simple goal that Dustin and I set, because if you're the one publishing the content and not consuming it, then you're creating the narrative, right, Ricardo? So our objective usually every day is to put one piece of content out that we're creating, because then people are consuming our thoughts. They're consuming what we're putting out to the world. So that's kind of how we distinguish it.
We actually had a lady the other day make a comment. I love reading about the positivity, you know, like her exact comment on it was, it's great to see you guys doing this instead of all this constant, you know, coronavirus, world's ending stuff. So
Agree.
People are being berated right now with negative press, really, and anyone's looking for a sliver of positivity, and it goes a long way right now.
Agree. So in other words, don't just scroll down all the time and, you know, post what you're eating, but, you know, think business, treat your business as a business, right? You want to respond some of your questions that people people have asked?
We'll go up to the top.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Can we see one of your TikToks? Sure. Which one should we pull up first?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
The TikToks we do are just random. Like at this point, we started doing TikTok just to have fun. That was it. And then it turned into, let's see here.
Also, in the meantime, people are asking for this PowerPoint. So if you guys email it to me, I will email it to everyone.
Put this in the chat. Like, we took one of the beach right in front of us here, and we said, can anyone identify where this is? If you do, we'll follow you. And we had 500 people comment on it.
And I think like the other thing that's that's very powerful is get other people to kind of create your content. You know, like it takes a while, but police photos, now people submit photos and it gets reposted. And everybody thinks you have to write your blogs. One thing we use Fiverr a lot for is you find content writers on there. They write it, you edit it, and you post it. You know, like you don't have to be the person that's always doing this. You don't have to be losing sleep and stick to what you're strong to.
That's a really good point. Like when I started the Belize Photos account, I would just reach out to people. I had 0 followers. I'd say, do you mind if I share your photo and give you credit? Who's going to say no to that? Do you mind if I share your blog post and give you credit? Everybody says yes to that. You just have to send a message and ask. And then you're going to slowly build up with the best content, and you're the person distributing it. So you reap the benefit of the following you create.
Also, guys, like as we mentioned with the content, like just creating it, you don't know what your audience wants to see. Like we made this workout video that we thought was hilarious and everybody would love. It's had our worst engagement.
Whoa, I still think that video is hilarious.
You don't know what's going to be good. So the most important thing is just create stuff. The more stuff you create, let your audience decide.
For sure.
How much content do you recommend? Again, this is all depends on just on what your capacity is.
We recommend doing as much content as you possibly can handle and still handling the upkeep of replying to other people. At the end of the day, you need to nurture the people you connect with online if you want to have any benefit from them in the long term. You could make 1 million pieces of content, use all your time up, and then you have no time to have any meaningful conversation with anyone, and everything you did is meaningless, right? So you want to make sure you have a balance where you're actually connecting with people and creating content. But at the end of the day, my answer to that is as much content as you possibly can while still being able to nurture the lead.
And Ebaristo, we did see your comment. TikTok is a China company, but they do run off algorithms. But you know, it's something that either you adapt and you take it in, or you don't. It's really up to you. But yeah, it's something that's coming up.
For answering. Hi everyone. Dustin, I like that haircut.
Yeah,
probably we didn't one Zoom. Do you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear you. Barry.
More questions?
Yeah. Okay. One question. Do you do it by yourself?
Sorry,
do you have any company that's helping you right now?
Do we have someone helping us? Is that the question?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. To answer that question, absolutely we do. And that's why Fiverr is really important, guys. That's a tool you guys can use right now. Dustin and I come up with the ideas, right? Then what we'll do, we'll go to places like Fiverr where, like we said, for $5 in a lot of cases, you can hire designers, developers, whatever the case
content writers.
Anything you guys can think of, I bet you it's on there, and it's very affordable. So we'll think, okay, maybe we do a blog post on this, and we'll give them the skeleton of that, and then a really good writer will write it for us for $5.
Yeah.
Or we have
a map that we need design. We're working on a new development project, you know, and we get a professional map.
Exactly. So it can be anything. We love leveraging people, but it all depends on your budget. That's why Fiverr is a great tool, because you don't have to break your bank to leverage people by using stuff like that.
The another tool that's really useful for us to make things really fast, like Mac Center has some amazing marketing tools, but we also use a very simple program called Canva. It helps us make you know, like custom graphics really, really quick, and we can go and post those. Okay, it's Canva, C-A-N-V-A.
Okay, we have a question here from Tiffany Swift. What are some good video content topics? So let's just list some that we've done. We've done, you know, market overview webinars. We do
top restaurants,
top beaches to go if you're in a beach place. If you're not, top, you know, activities to do. Anything you guys
how to close a property, you know.
A day in the life in your community, or community outreach things you guys do, or it really can be anything. You know, take a camera with you during the day and take selfies of where you are, or videos of properties.
Do you know what's also something that's been very, very effective for us is people like the personalization. You know, if you make a quick video and you make the video, you know, unlisted, you send them a link, when they see their name in it, that's very valuable to them.
That's a great point. Personalized videos, those are awesome. Like if you have a client that wants something, right, especially right now, you go in, you make them a YouTube video where you're putting a bunch of different pieces of things in. Or
guys, you're in paradise right now. film a quick thing being like, hey, I'm out here quarantining in paradise. You know, everybody, you know, they're liking a joke right now. You'd be like, our local beer is Bellican. Being like, you know what? Can't wait till you're down here. We're sharing a Bellican.
What else do we have? Questions here. What is your advice to start in the new networks? To start new ones in the networks. We have, is this Vega and Millen? What is your advice to start new ones in the networks? Can you clarify that question?
We can just go to that. So how long should a blog be? To like really, for it to be indexed by Google, it's generally recommended it be at least 500 words. So start at 500 words. Usually people don't read much past 1,000, 1,500. One thing that I just personally, we've kind of realized everybody in the world's a little ADHD. So we always do a lot of point form stuff. You know, people read it, they engage with it a lot more.
Point form. Also, people are very, in terms of email subjects and video subjects, people love clicking on top 5 this, top 10 this. I don't know what it is, but something in our brains just makes us click those type of things.
The other thing with blogs is what we've started doing is every time we see a news article, like NBC mentioning Belize, or we have like any environmental policies that change, we go and we make something right away. So we kind of have that first mover advantage. You see it, like even if you use Fiverr, you get a content writer, you sometimes have to go through a few of them to find somebody good, but you know, you're able to send them that, they send it in 2 days, you're just creating more content. You know, like we didn't really touch too much on Google, but Google loves the websites with the most content and the most stuff talking about them. So if you're able to create more relevant blog posts, Google prefers that and you show up at a higher rate.
Okay, we got Leslie, my guy Leslie, what's happening, man? Okay. Discuss your infrastructure team in terms of who is creating, strategizing the content, who is posting, what's the time, Okay, so let's start. I guess Dustin and I, most of the ideas start with Dustin and I. And then from there, every idea starts with us. So then from there, we talk about who are the people we're going to assign these things to. And at the end of the day, Dustin has built a lot of relationships through Fiverr and these websites where, you know, you get someone to do a job, they do a good job, you use them again. So we'll try to pass off as much of the stuff that we're doing to qualified people, as long as we're not breaking the budget. As for recommended budget on ad platforms, it really depends on, you know, where you are in your business. You know, some people right now might be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a day, whereas other people might just want to just try it out and put $10 to a Facebook ad and see what happens, see what you generate, you know? So it depends on where you are in your business. What else can we say? Right now, though, ads are cheaper than ever. Like, We're seeing a lot of, because again, so many people in the world are freezing up because of COVID-19 that there's less competition. If there's less, you know, Facebook and Google create their ad prices that you guys pay. It's based on supply and demand like anything else. And right now demand has dropped. So the prices are getting way better.
Well, like even Google's like offering vouchers right now to, you know, keep people's ads up. So, you know, this right now is a great opportunity
in some cases.
And people like it's crazy because people are online. But again, like the one thing it kind of like opposite of Google is you have to get creative with it because people aren't looking up vacation properties, but people could be looking for alternative investments. People could be looking for, they didn't know real estate was as cheap as it was in your location. So you got to kind of find ways that you're reaching out to them, not them reaching out to you.
Yeah, great point. Okay, what else do we have? I think that's most of the, if anyone has any other questions, we're happy to answer them too.
Guys, in the meantime, while we receive more questions, a couple of things is, please send me your PowerPoint if you, send it to Christina Ford. And she will email it to all CCA members. In the meantime, guys, do we have more questions? No, maybe not. Okay, couple of things. Guys, thank you so much. This was an amazing presentation. It was truly, truly good. Now, this makes me think that for the winner circle, we don't want to bring outside speakers because, you know, many times they don't understand our region, they don't know what to do, they don't get it. So I would like to continue having guest speakers from within the region. I am saying this because if anyone wants to speak, you have something good that you want to share, please email me, and we will discuss. You know what? Let's get together. Let's discuss. We will have a conversation online, and then we prepare for your presentation. If you need help preparing for your presentation, I will be more than happy to help you. Also, I'm going to share my screen, guys. Give me 1 second. It is right here. This is a company that nowadays everybody's doing business with. Will and Dustin, do you see the Zoom logo?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, awesome. So everybody knows this company, and they have become the saviors of humanity. It's amazing how they have positioned themselves. Well, guys, this makes me think of all of those real estate agents that are not affiliated with any franchise or not affiliated with RE/MAX. They are independent. Okay, think about them for a moment. Do you think that they enjoy things like this? They don't have this opportunity to be connected to this winner circle, to be connected to a network, to be inspired all the time in the Facebook group that we have and all of that. The reason I say this is because I want us to become the Zoom of real estate in the Caribbean and Central America. In order to do this, we need to invite all of those people. These are, you know what? We don't mind sharing all of this information with the competition, with our colleagues. It is a public service. We see it as a public service, as a community citizenship activity that we would like to do. Invite them, and some of them will join. And the ones that don't join, well, maybe eventually they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they were not RE/MAX material. But if we can help them, hey, let's help them. Let's lead the industry. Let's take the lead. This is our chance to lead. So we need to become the Zoom of real estate. And in closing, guys, I recommend, I'm gonna stop sharing. Give me 1 second. Okay, do you guys, is everybody using the speaker view? Do you guys see me in the big screen or not, guys? Do I show big or small in your screen? Big, okay. So the reason I want you to see the big screen is, thank you, Aixa, is because I recommend that you don't work in pajamas. However, if you want to work in pajamas, they have to be the right pajamas. I'm gonna show you mine. You ready? Huh? What do you think? Is that the right pajama or not?
That's funny.
Okay.
I took a photo, so watch out. I took a picture.
All right. Okay, guys, please remember next week we're going back to Fridays. So Winner Circle next week is going to be at the same time, but on Friday, not Thursday. To those that celebrate Good Friday, well, we have a lot of respect for Good Friday. I hope that you have a good celebration in any way that you celebrate. Guys, thank you so much for being here and for all that you do.
Ricardo, quick question.
Yes, who's this?
It's Marco from RE/MAX St. Martin. How are you?
Yes, good. What's up, Marco?
Good. How do we get ourselves a pair of those nice pajamas?
I knew that was coming.
Actually, I gave them to him for his birthday this year.
Okay.
I could, if I don't know if they would deliver to a lot of the islands, but I just got it on Etsy.
Okay, we have freight forwarders in Miami, so I'm sure it'll work.
There you go.
We'll figure it out. I want a pair bad though.
I can send you the link of the
Nice.
company.
Amazing,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all you do.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Gracias, Ricardo. Bye.
Bye.
Jennifer, saw my pajamas.
No estoy en pijamas, es una bata de casa.
Okay, mi pijama.
Everyone.
Adiós.
Chao, mi amor.
Adiós.
Bye.
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 Oh, Rosel and Tarek, how are you?
Jennifer, ahora que aparece.
Bye.
Jennifer, parece una presa.
Where's Haya?
Bye, everyone. Pura
Bye,
vida.
Haya.
Pura vida.
Bye-bye. Where's Chris?
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, my son.
Bye. Leslie, good to see you. Take care. How's Belkis doing?
She's doing well. Thank you. She's doing well. We have about a month left, so it's game time.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
We're with you in spirit.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the same background.
Ricardo, where can we find information?
Right.
Free Zoom account. Tatiana Castro. Tatiana, I think Christina can help you with that. Good question.
I'm not comfortable.
Oh, sorry.
Roselle, say hi to Hyacinth, please.
I will.
I'm glad that you saw me in pajamas.
Me too. I'm preparing. Look.
But you can go back farther. I can barely go back.
No, because it has you on the camera. Let's get out of here.
Can I at least disappear first?
Okay, wait.
Now you see me? Now you don't. Now you see me? Now you don't.
Will and Dustin, are you still here? No, maybe not. Okay, I will WhatsApp them.
Hey, your laptop's on my masterpiece.
And we both thank you. Ready to go?
No. I at least get my puzzle out.
Where's my laptop battery so low time?
Let me see. It's not that low.
Yes, it is. You didn't charge it.
68 is a high
It's
number.
not 100.
But it's a high number.
Mm.